It's time now for a look at the day's business news. Kate Moody is with us in studio. Kate, I'm not going to be surprised, am I? We're going to start with that reopening of the banks in Greece.
For a change.
So the banks are back open, but the capital controls are still in place.
Yeah, exactly. In a way, this reopening of the doors is more symbolic than anything else because a lot of these restrictions will remain in place. Now, instead of that €60 daily withdrawal limit, customers will be able to take out their weekly allowance all at once. They can access €420 in 1 week in one withdrawal instead of having to line up outside the ATMs every single day. They'll also be able to make withdrawals without a bank card if they need to, going in and seeing a teller. Now, there will still, however, be a ban on transfers to or from foreign banks. Checks still cannot be cashed. Customers will be allowed to deposit money if they want. They'll be able to use their accounts to pay bills, and they'll be able to access their safety deposit boxes. Those are the changes that we'll be seeing on Monday. Remember, the Greek banking system remains very fragile indeed. It's gotten this €900 million lifeline from the European Central Bank, but cash reserves are still very low, and it's estimated that the 3-week shutdown has cost the economy at least €3 billion in market shortages and export disruption. The other important thing to be keeping an eye on this Monday is the Athens ECB bill. It owes the European Central Bank over €4 billion on Monday. It's bound by EU law to pay that. If not, the emergency assistance from that central bank could be called into question.
So not out of the woods yet, and the Greeks are going to be experiencing a rise in VAT or sales tax.
Yeah, exactly. This was one of the most controversial measures that the Tsipras government agreed to undertake. We'll be seeing the basic value-added tax rate rise from 13 to 23%. It'll impact sectors including restaurants and public transportation. Non-perishable food items like sugar will become much more expensive. The government says this will pay off by 2016, bringing in about €2.4 billion a year by then. Many Greeks, though, of course, fear that it'll just make their daily lives more difficult and that they won't be able to buy as much as they used to.
So how are the markets looking with all of this going on?
Well, the European markets, of course, will be a real litmus test for how investors are feeling about the Greek crisis. We're expecting a lower open in just a short amount of time. The Greek stock market, we know, will remain closed this Monday. The Athens Stock Exchange was shut down along with the banks on June the 29th. Officials are still not ruling out that trading could begin again later in the week. You can see there a pretty light trading day in Asia. Shares mostly lower as they begin this week. The Nikkei is closed for a holiday in Japan. We've been seeing a sell-off in metals this Monday. Spot gold and platinum prices hitting 5-year lows. Those commodities are usually seen as a safe haven for investors. Prices have been falling amid speculation that the U.S. Federal Reserve will soon raise interest rates and boost returns on those precious metals. Turning to some of the day's other business headlines now. The Italian government is to begin the process of privatising the National Post Office, following in the footsteps of the UK's Royal Mail 2 years ago. It's the centrepiece of Prime Minister Matteo Renzi's plan to sell off state assets. 40% of the government stake in Poste Italiane will be floated on the Milan Stock Exchange in October, with authorities hoping to raise €4 billion, money that will ostensibly be used to pay off Rome's €2.2 trillion of national debt. Ferrari has become the latest car maker to recall 8 models which have parts made by the Japanese supplier Takata. The Italian luxury brand says 814 sports cars could be at risk because of assembly problems. Some 34 million vehicles have been recalled worldwide because of faulty airbags from Takata. And America's largest weapons maker has agreed to buy the company that makes Black Hawk helicopters for more than $8 billion. Lockheed Martin and United Technologies' Sikorsky aircraft unit are expected to confirm the sale before announcing second quarter results on Tuesday. It'll be Lockheed Martin's largest acquisition in 2 decades.
Okay, well, we've been talking for a long time now about how drones are going to become the delivery system of the future, but we're finally seeing them in action, Kate.
Yeah, the US has seen its first official drone delivery that was approved by the Federal Aviation Administration, which currently bans drone use for commercial purposes. A package of medical supplies, you can see there, was delivered to a rural hospital in Southwest Virginia. That's a trip that would normally have taken at least an hour and a half on tricky, winding country roads. It was accomplished in just a 20-minute flight. Now, Google and Amazon are among the giant companies that have said they'd like to switch to drone deliveries in the future. They're lobbying the FAA to loosen its drone regulations over the next year, and they're likely, of course, to seize on this one-off test as an example of how efficient and safe these drone deliveries can be.
Okay, well, we can see a definite advantage there for rural areas. However, part of me thinks, we've already clogged our streets, now we're going to clog up our skies.
Yeah, in cities it might be a bit oppressive, I can imagine.
but I realise I'm very old school.
Floating through the country skies, it does look kind of nice, doesn't it?
Okay, well, Kate Moody, thanks indeed for that review of the business today. Time now for a quick break, but we'll be right back here on France 24.